This is the 16th of April 2022. IMRAZ IKHBAL recording this voice note, particularly on the matter of the conviction of Ting for allegedly reckless driving causing the death of 8 uh, children who were on their respective basikal lajak some years back. Now, there has been so many hoo-ha, so many issues, and is a very controversial case right now, can even turn racial or political. The High Court judge has apparently overturned the magistrate court's decision to acquit Ting earlier, and it is to my understanding that the magistrate court acquitted Ting because they found that she did no wrong. She had license. She was not under influence of any drugs or alcohol. She followed the speed limit. She wore seatbelt. She was not using her phone. She was not doing anything wrong. So therefore, she was on her right of way. She was driving at 3 a.m. coming back from work. The road was hilly. It was dark. But then there were recalcitrant adolescents or recalcitrant children on their bicycle lajak. They don't have license. They were not wearing helmet. At 3 a.m. they were out and they were driving. They were riding ridiculously apparently, and they met with an accident. Unfortunately, they died. Now, the development now is that it's been reversed, and the judge finds Ting, High Court judge finds Ting guilty and sentenced her to 6 years jail and to pay 6,000 ringgit fine, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. On top of that, even her chance to appeal was denied. You know, her right to appeal. She wanted to appeal, not even allowed to appeal, which makes it even more curious. Now, following that, everybody has been commenting and say, look, she should be free. She should, people criticize without even knowing what the High Court finding is exactly. Some, of course, rejoice that justice finally served, apparently. Some finds it, complete injustice and have lost faith in the courts of Malaysia. But there are also many who are saying that, look, 6 years is excessive. Why suspend the license? They will be okay if it's 6 months. All kinds of things, basically. And I do not know where it comes from, because at the end of the day, what needs to be categorically established is whether Ting is guilty or not guilty. Is either way, guilty or not guilty. Now, as far as the incident is concerned, it is at best contributory negligence on the part of Ting if she did something wrong, because the kids, the bicycle lajak, had no place to be there at 3 a.m. in the morning in an obscure circumstance. And obviously, anyone unsuspecting at that time, even if they're not speeding, will be caught off guard. So therefore, it is completely wrong to say that the kids were not at fault. The kids were at fault. They have no right to be there, and they broke more than one law. So many laws. They are riding on the highway, modified bicycle, doing dangerous stunts, out at night and racing. So therefore, the kids did so many wrong things. They at least share the blame if Ting is at fault at all. Now, so therefore, Ting at best is contributory negligence. Or if they want to allege misconduct or willful act, they have to prove it beyond reasonable doubt. So now, when it went to court, what is the circumstance of the High Court judge in reversing that decision, overturning that and convicting her? The point is, if Ting is indeed guilty, doesn't matter what her testimony or whatever it is, it must be established what is it that Ting did that she is not supposed to do. How? What is it that she did? Was she speeding faster than she's supposed to? What is it that she did that she's not supposed to do that resulted in the accident and killing the 8 children? Number one. Or what did Ting fail to do that a reasonable person, a reasonable driver should not fail to do, that resulted in the death of the kids. Bear in mind, even if it did, it is contributory at best. It is not wholly to be blamed on Sam Keating. Now, I do not know the essence of the High Court judge findings, but is there such a thing where they say Sam Keating should have done this, but she did not, and therefore it caused the death of the kids, it caused the accident? Ataupun Sam Keating should not have done this, that, because had she not done that, the kids would not have died. All this has got to be reasonable. Is that put to a test? Is that the essence of what is in the High Court's finding? If it is not, therefore, I would opine as a Malaysian that the High Court finding is defective. It is done biased and it is not done well, and therefore this should be allowed. The avenue for appeal should be allowed. It should go to higher courts, more competent judges, to take a look at the circumstance of the High Court judge overturning the verdict into guilty. Now, it can also be, without looking at the case, it could be that the magistrate court did not deliver the right verdict, and magistrate court did not even call for defense. So therefore, then the High Court have the right to intervene and go through the examination, cross-examination, the questioning, and therefore this will come to actually the decision of the court. And the court cannot go on the basis of balance of probability, because this is a criminal case. Therefore, the negligence or the willful conduct, misconduct of Sam Keating as a driver must be proven beyond reasonable doubt. And even if so, I already stated, it has to be contributory, because the kids were also wrong. They are not without fault. So what is that? If that's not established, there is perfect avenue, there is perfect grounds for Sam Keating to appeal it to the appeals court, for the appeals court to quash the case and acquit her. So this is the point. But basically, the argument of, it should be only 6 months, it should be only suspend, it should be only should not be 6 years. Look, if Sam Keating is not guilty, she should not even pay 1 cent. She should not even endure 1 day of prison. If she's not guilty, that's it. If she is guilty, then the issue of whether what is reasonable or not, that is for the judge to decide. Because if she is guilty, there is contributory negligence or willful act on her part. The judge delivered a judgment based on the prevailing laws, which allow up to 10 years, but she got only 6. Allow for much more fine, but she got only 6. So therefore, judge decided based on that. And if it is established that she is guilty and she doesn't want to appeal to that verdict of guilt verdict, but she only wants to appeal to the sentence, then she can do so also to the higher level and say, look, it is excessive. Means she accepts that she is negligent or there is a fault on her part. But if she wants to dispute that and she wants to say it's not a fault, then the onus is on the courts to prove that beyond reasonable doubt that she is at fault, that she did something that she's not supposed to do, or she did not do something that she was supposed to do, or a combination thereof that at least contributed to the accident and the death of the children. So that is the precise point. So therefore, at this juncture, to negotiate or to say that the sentence is excessive is irrelevant. It is not excessive, it's not too little, it's not too much. It is what the judge has quoted from the prevailing laws. But what should be the matter of contention now is whether she's guilty or not guilty. And therefore, there's so many circumstances where she gives unsworn statement and all these things. Why? So therefore, when it goes to Court of Appeal, I hope all this can be raised. Why she gave unsworn statement, lawyers should answer, she should answer. And at the end of the day, whatever the circumstance may be, it has to be proven beyond reasonable doubt that there is an act or omission, wrongful act or wrongful omission on the part of Sam Keating for her to be convicted. Any other way, it should be dropped and she should be acquitted. The kids should take the blame, and it's unfortunate they already died and they can't even learn their lesson. Salam.